What's up, guys? So today we are going to talk about some goodies that I've been anxiously awaiting for. They finally showed up today at the house. And what I'm talking about is that AWE Track Edition Axleback Exhaust. So that's going to be the star of this video. And the supporting cast is going to be my 2024 Summit White V8 LT1 Camaro, affectionately known as Ghost. It's currently equipped with the stock NPP exhaust system. And you might be wondering, I'm about to say, if it already has the NPP system on it, why in the world am I switching it out for the AWE Track Edition system? Well, that's because Ghost is not my first Camaro. My first Camaro was a 2023 Summit White 1LT Camaro that I affectionately call White Lightning. And unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, White Lightning met an untimely demise as it got smashed into a pole. Now, needless to say, the Camaro that I had a aftermarket exhaust on it. It was the MRT version 3, very good exhaust system. And the NPP system is actually a very good exhaust system as well. But the thing is that when I unfortunately wrecked Ghost, some of you all may not know this, 2024 Camaro production has actually stopped. So there was no way for me to go back and for me to even order another Camaro exactly like the one that I had. I basically had to search through inventory. So if we go out on the internet and we take a look on Chevy right now and see what they've got, you can see that as of right now, in entire Chevrolet inventory, there's only about 4,500 Camaros. That includes all new Camaros, all convertibles, all manuals, all automatics, you name it. And the highest price one right now is, of course, the Panther Edition ZL1. That's running about $101,000. And then if we go ahead and we look at the lowest price one, that's about $32,000. That's a 1LT. And like I said, so my car, the White Lightning was actually a V6 and it was a manual. And I wanted to get a manual. And that inventory is even worse. So right now there's only 433 manual Camaros out there if you wanted to purchase it. So with that being said, White Lightning had a modified exhaust system on it. Ghost, I actually had to search through inventory and try and find one that looked very similar to White Lightning, and I found this one, but the car automatically came equipped with the NPP system. So once again, the NPP system is a very good system. I've had this car for 2 days and I'm already ripping out the exhaust. But I'm gonna do another video on NPP, how it works, as well as how you can make it loud all the time. Because sometimes people are like, oh, you gotta do a fuse pull, oh, you gotta leave it in track mode, oh, you gotta leave it in sport mode. There's actually another way that you can get it loud almost all the time. So when that video's done, just check right up here and I will have that card. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go inside because yes, I'm from Chicago. It is like 20 degrees out here. This garage is not heated. So we're gonna go inside and we're gonna go unbox this system and then we're gonna go ahead and get it installed. So now that we're inside and of course we've taken everything out of the box, let's go ahead and take a look at what we actually got over here. So you've got the two different exhaust pipes with the outlet tips or the outlet points. The thing to know is that yes, the Track Edition is essentially a muffler delete. So if you are looking for the one with the mufflers, then that means you need to get the Touring Edition. And we've got the adapters, and then we've got the clamps, and then you've got here some instructions. There's 2 ways to go about installing your new kit. Then we've got the actual screws to go ahead and put the tips on. And then of course what everybody is always looking for with that unlock performance, we've got these nice, lovely 4-inch black diamond tips. And of course AWE always puts in a nice little sucker. And we got the sour apple. But of course, there is absolutely nothing sour about what just came in this box. Just wanted to bring this over into the light so that you can see it a little bit better. So this is the actual 4-inch tip. And of course, it's got, that AWE emblazoned on it. And then of course, these are massive 4-inch tips, so pretty stoked about that. Keep in mind the whole black tip thing because it will come up a little bit later in this video. So now let's go ahead and wave our magic wand. Everything has now magically appeared in the trunk. and we are ready to go. But before we get out of here, there's one last thing we got to do. We got to get that last NPP cold start. All right, guys, so we over here at Hernandez Auto Shop. I'm gonna say they're actually gonna go ahead and do the work. You can see the car's already up on the lift. What's actually funny is my man Poncho, he actually did the first removal of my exhaust when he opened up, and that's the exhaust. So that's the exhaust from White Lightning. That's the 1LT Camaro. I had that taken off and actually had a MRT version 3 put on. So we're gonna go ahead and let them do their thing, check back in a couple times, and I'm gonna show you what they have to do for these NPP valves, all right? So we already disconnected the NPP valves. Those are sitting over there on the floor. So now we're gonna go ahead and tape these up, zip tie them, and then we'll be moving on to the next step. So what we ended up doing for the NPP is just taped the actual connectors, and then we went ahead and zip tied them up so that they're, out of the way. And I actually, before I turned the car off, I actually put it in sport mode and pulled fuse 51. So shouldn't be getting any check engine lights, hopefully. And yeah, go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, so moment of truth. It's that first startup. Woo! Listen to that. Deep. Woo! That's that AWE. All right, so install is all done. We are back at the house, and you can see those beautiful AWE tips sticking on out, poking on out from the back. Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, it's winter time here, so car got dirty on the way back. So that was the install. So everything went, pretty good and seamless with that. We did have one little hiccup, but everything got resolved. So basically, with the NPP, what we ended up doing is, going ahead, pulling off the motors, taping up the couplers, zip tying them up on the other harnesses, and then after that, well, before I actually turned the car off, I, adjusted the mode, put it in sport mode, and did the fuse 51 pull. So the system is basically, inactive on the car, but I did keep my NPP valves just in case, I wanted to reinstall them or do something like that. But that brings me to the last piece, which is the black tips. And I said I was going to talk about them. So as I mentioned before, White Lightning had the MRT system, so MRT version 3 catback. Loud system, loved it. And why did I end up going with AWE? It was because of the black tips. So what I mean by that is this. I went to MRT and I went to AWE. AWE's axle back system, I think I'll throw it up on the screen. I think it was like $800 something for the silver tips. And when you added on the black tips, it moved by like $100. So it was like $9.95, something like that. But when you did the same thing with MRT, it was a bigger price jump, okay? And as I mentioned, I just wrecked a car. I'm kind of broke, so I need to be saving my coins. So what ended up happening is I just ended up going with the AWE system, but the MRT system is good, okay? So this video isn't like our normal videos on the channel. Usually I'm doing tax videos because I am a CPA, but if you did like the video, please go ahead and think about giving it a thumbs up so that other people who are thinking about getting the AWE track system or thinking about NPP and how to make their systems loud, I'll link that video up there about, you know, doing the selection within the console. They can find it and they can go ahead and make their decision because it was videos on YouTube that helped me decide which one that I was going to do. So, all right, with that being said, till next time.